Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for January 30th through February 5th, 2023. So before we begin, I'd just like to welcome everyone who is returning to this weekly series, and to also welcome anyone who is new to our Angelic Wisdom community and you're checking us out for the very first time. And so, what I'd like to do is just remind you of a few things. Number one, um, please make sure that you subscribe and select the all notification bell, like, dislike, and also leave comments. The comments are really helpful to each and every one of you, as the information that is coming through um, is from our collective higher selves, our I am presences. And so this is how I do my work. And I tap into that collective. And so many people will feel as though I'm speaking directly to you. It is because your I am presence is speaking to you. And you're hearing this collective voice as one. Um, and its purpose is to help you find peace, to express yourself freely, to help you to really to be yourself, and to share the abundance of love, wisdom, gifts, and talents that comprise everything that really is you, every facet of you, especially the ones that you think have no value, or the ones that you dislike the most. Each facet of you is a great teacher. And so the angels facilitate this process with God to help us to manage um, to restore harmony and love wherever we go. And so your comments might be complete something in the message that I did not say, but needed to be heard, but through you. And so that's the community that I hope we are cultivating, so that everyone comes here finds what they're looking for through all of us. And another important piece as well, I have recorded the monthly angel reading. I haven't posted it yet. It will be coming out, a day or two after this video. So make sure that you do watch it, and I will create a link um, with this video so that you have access to it. Um, but you can also, if I forget, or if it's not possible because I would need to record it, publish it first, just know that you can find that on my channel, and then that will all you should also get it if you have your notifications selected. Also, if you like an angel reading with me, you can go to my current website, theangelschool.com/services. There's a link below this video in the description area that'll take you there. Um, this month in February, I've been offering my um, first time promotional angel reading offer. So everyone um, can select that if you'd like to receive a reading. There are also other readings there that might work for you as well. And also, if you just like to contribute to my channel, you can select the my PayPal me link. You'll find that in the description area as well. Okay, so let's take a deep breath. And just breathe into your heart chakra and give it a little rub. And to make sure your feet are on the ground, and you can, just tap your feet a little bit on the ground to make sure that you activate the chakras in the bottom of your feet so that you can, what you're doing is with all of this is just opening up these pathways for you to connect to your higher self's awareness and the greater awareness of our planet. And they keep showing me a lamp. Okay. And the lamp for me is enlightenment. It also tells me when someone is spiritually bright, or that the person might also be intellectually bright. So this always for me connects to the crown chakra. And they're showing me a book, an open. So I feel like your intuition is going to be really centered around the writing angel number 5, which is talking about changes in your awareness, in your claircognizance. So that pay attention to information coming in as clear thoughts to you in this week. And they're showing me like different sizes of lamps. So what they're trying to indicate is, um, you know, don't dismiss those small ideas. And then they're giving me a sense, because it feels distant, that like you might be getting some information, some ideas that are not for right now, but they're for the near future. So I know that that can be very conflicting, because we're always wanting everything right now. And we want everything to work right now. And we want to include it and make it. But they're saying don't put that kind of pressure on yourself. And they keep writing the word extension. So um, I don't know if they're trying to say that they're giving you an extension on something that you're currently freaking out about. Okay, maybe you're feeling like a sense of urgency about something, but an extension is either coming, or that they're speaking about this, or you have like as if you have more time than you realize. And remember, time is relative to your perspective. So somebody might say you have they need you to do this, all of a sudden just, shock you with, I need this, here's this opportunity, but it's coming up, a couple of weeks. And you're like, I can't do that. You're thinking to yourself, I don't have enough time. I have this to do, I have this to do, I have this to do. But the idea is, when we worry, and they're writing the word respect, time is something that we have to respect. And worry is a disrespect to time. Worry makes you disrespect time in the way that you get caught in the rabbit hole of wasting a lot of time spinning, worrying, getting nothing done. And then it's almost as if the actions that you do take are just so disconnected and disoriented, because you're you're grappling, or you're struggling, um, um, you're struggling with time the whole time, if you know what I mean. And so it feels like you're in this maze, or or better yet, like if you were trying to, like if you were walking in an area and it was a lot of water puddles and very few places to walk. You know how it just takes so much time because now you can't walk because you don't want to get wet. You're afraid of getting your feet wet. And so you keep trying to figure out how you're going to get from here to here. It's like you just freeze and you spend more time worrying about not what you're afraid of instead of going to where you need to be. I mean, gosh, yeah, you might get your feet wet, but if you just go, the time will that time that the distance between where there's no more water, by the time you get over there, you could have had more time to dry your shoes and do other kinds of things instead of standing there a whole day. Sometimes we worry for days, imagine, where we just can't move or we're afraid to move. And so nothing gets done. And so, yes, then time will creep up on you and you'll manifest exactly what you were expecting, but it wasn't necessary. So we have to learn how to respect time and be aware that time works is relative to your perception. So be open, be open, and don't put pressures on yourself. And so, one of the first things you have to do is if you feel that this is important, if this is something that you really want, and this is what happens when you don't have an opportunity, when you think the other way, you don't really think about what you really want. Like, is this something I really want? Before you worry about whether or not you can do it. And if it's something you really want, then immediately you make decisions to make it a priority and clearing out things that aren't, putting some things on the back burner, um, whatever you need to do so that you clear your path. This is a respect towards time, so that time can be on your side, if you will, or feel like time is on your side, so that you go from worrying to confidence, to trust and faith, and to action and execution of the details that need to be taken care of, or mapping out um, an outline of your time, the timeline that you have in between now and then. Just take another deep breath, and they're just writing the word trust. And so they're showing me a very wide, tall tree. And this is about trusting your connection. So those thoughts that are coming to you in this week, a lot of bright ideas, a lot of inspiration. If you follow this flow of inspiration or ideas, they will come from your I am presence, who sees the entire picture unfolding throughout all time in terms of variety of possibilities. And it will be offering you the impulse, the clarity, and the ideas that are aligned best with the situation that you found yourself in and the person and the mindset that you have now. And it will navigate this peacefully, although it will not come without some shock or may feel very illogical because, again, if you haven't dealt with that priority setting, what are your priorities, then you'll struggle with this information as it guides you. You'll struggle with it. So when you feel like you're supposed to go here right now and do this first, but you're told to do this first, just do it. Just go with the flow, because this is time being orchestrated in such a way that you get the maximum benefits from it. I have done this when I've been mindful. I think I've told you about this once before, to just, when I say screw time, and I just go that whole day just on my instincts and impulses and the inspiration of those impulses. And I find that I get so much done because I'm not waiting to see what I should and, should and should not do. I'm not worrying, number one. And the other thing is that if you're going to follow guidance, divine guidance, then don't go, is that what you meant? Don't question it. And I'm not saying don't think, because that's not what they're doing. But they're giving you this energy boost. Inspiration comes with energy, enthusiasm. Um, and that gives you the confidence. And there's a knowing within that. And so if you go with that, you will find that your sense of purpose, your overall pleasure and satisfaction and harmony is just elevated as you follow this flow throughout the day. And I can tell you, as a person who, if I worry, I will probably get little to nothing done, maybe one or two things. And on days like this, when I remember to do this, I get so many things done, I can't even tell you what they were, but I know that I had a great day at the end. Okay? So just be open to the insights that are coming through in your, and I'm hearing the word gradually, so your crown chakra is being activated, and a shift is going to take place. It's going to gradually start to make your awareness and how you trust and go about doing things, you trust in that connection, um, is going to gradually unfold in this way, so that you're spending less time um, messing around, being messy with doubts. Because that's what the crown chakra, how that really works is that is that this is a place when it's open, where doubt cannot really truly reside. But we are so practiced at ignoring that, um, because we practice worrying and anxiety and so forth, that we have developed a muscle that goes against what we truly want in ourselves, want for ourselves, and want to feel within ourselves, rather. So be open to this shift that's rumbling through your consciousness, and trust it more. I actually was guided just the other day, um, in an exercise, maybe it's yesterday, day before the colonoscopy, which, as a thank you, it went extremely well. Um, I recommend my doctor. Literally none of the things that I've ever heard about, you know, the 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 taste and all that stuff was just nothing. And I didn't even know that it happened. I was thinking about it today. It's like, my God, I just had a procedure done, and I have no awareness. I can't feel it in my body or anything. But everything was in excellent condition. So I'm good for another 5 to 10 years. So thank you all for your prayers. That just came into my mind. But there was an exercise. They were walking me through something, and they were showing me a cross, which is my symbol for suffering or victimhood. And so they were showing me, all of the thoughts where I've played the victim, especially in connection to memories. And even though things happen to us, again, it's just like the respect for time. Well, those memories are also a disrespect to our time, the victimhood type memories, because they, even though that thing happened, but what they do is they give us an excuse to live our lives in a certain way. And that is to say, to live our lives with doubts, with fears, to live our lives based upon these, better said, and established upon these things. And so they're going to be coming through to clear this out. So be aware that some things might surface, memories. And when they do, it's not to incite you to bring up your anger and your uh, your shame or pity, but it's to remind you that this has created beliefs that are blocking that trust in God, that connection with your iron presence and source. Because that's what this chakra is really all about, because this is where the inspiration of God connects with us, clear knowing, clear understanding, and most importantly, wisdom. All right, let's take a look at the archangel that we're working with for this week, which is going to be sort of a cusp week, ending of January and beginning of February. And we have Archangel Raguel. And it says, be fair in all situations, resolve your conflicts. So this week is going to give you an opportunity. Be aware of memories or people who come up in your or situation, and it's about being fair, unbiased in our recollections. Is what I'm really feeling about this, and because the thing is, if you're not fair, meaning look at be honest about both sides of this. And if you don't know the other person's side, try to speculate the other side of what you think you know. Because in our the weakness of our human experience, we are easily triggered. And most often, what's triggering us has nothing to do with what's going on with the present moment event or the persons involved. They are just triggering something that is already a very sensitive button. And just for somebody to brush it sends off all of this electrical sort of wiring that um, brings up all of these feelings and emotions within you. It might cause you to want to react, you know, to take back your power, to meaning to be aggressive. And then what it all does is just makes that trigger, the original trauma, even worse, because technically you would have felt like you failed again, meaning that you were, if you're playing the victim, that you were taken advantage of again, and so on and so on. And so this begins to determine the kind of stories we create within ourselves that then controls the kind of opportunities and the lifestyle that we can achieve for ourselves. And so you can call upon Archangel Raguel. And you see, he has this very light blue color, and it's this energy of peace and harmony to bring in that those frequencies into relationships. His name means the friendship of God. And so instead of allowing yourself to focus on division, focus on unity, focus on cooperation, which does not mean that you're agreeing with somebody. You can cooperate with people without liking them or agreeing with them, but you're cooperating in this sense on a very higher level, on the spiritual level, on even on your emotional level, so that you can change how you feel, that you can lessen the trauma of and the triggers. It's sort of like doing I don't know if this is the right way to say this, but damage control for yourself. Instead of allowing an injury, I don't know why I'm thinking about like Star Trek. I don't know why. And like, when they get attacked, they go ahead and try to repair the hole or whatever it is, right? So they can keep doing what they have to do. What we tend to do is what makes us feel so vulnerable, and why we really, who it is we don't trust is ourselves. That's what makes us afraid to confront something in our power, because we when we're triggered, we expose ourselves, and we don't think about, okay, oh, this part of me has been has felt attacked, and this part now is open and exposed, and I need to um, prevent further damage, or I need to repair it so that I can have the full force of my resources and my spiritual power and clarity to act appropriately in this moment, because I do not want to nor need to repeat what a trauma I've already been through. And they're just right in front of me, release. And release is not giving the other person the advantage. You release it because as long as you are engaged, they do have the opportunity to draw energy from you. But if you disengage yourself, release the circumstances. Sometimes we get triggered because we want to have control, and then we can't. Instead of just saying, "This is, this is not something that I can do. I can't fix this right now. Not right now. Not in the condition that I'm in." But because we always feel that we have to be the one in charge and we have to know how to fix things, it's like this. It's a moment of toxic masculinity when we, instead of taking care of ourselves, that we put ourselves in further um, chaos and harm's way, because we got to defend our honor, our this facade that our ego is projecting. So just be aware of what is your priority. That's going back to that respect of time about deadlines. In um, in a relationship conflict, what is your priority? Maybe that's the question that will bring you to that place of clarity and focus you on your truth, and to help you to maintain that harmony and balance. What is my priority here right now? Is my priority to win this fight? Is my priority to show this person or these people that I can't be messed with or disrespected? But then you got to really think about, what does respect truly look like? And is what you're doing that? So, meaning, are you being, is your ego being triggered to project its guidance and ideas? Or are you really listening to your higher self's inner awareness and transformative, um, peaceful um, outcomes, right? So, just like when you follow your impulses, when you have things to get done, you do the same in a situation that could be triggering. You listen to your higher self for the purpose of unity and really respecting yourself, learning to respect yourself and learning to trust yourself by following its guidance, doing what's right and best for you in the moment, and doing what's in the best interest of everyone else as well. Not an easy thing to talk about or do. Okay, so here we have the action of sword, and this is the Knight of Sword, and this is about, not being rash, right? Um, to now, of course, swords deals with that crown chakra, meaning truth and clarity, and so you have an option here. You have a choice. You can really focus in on what are the imperatives for you, um, what are your priorities, what are your goals, what's your truth, where do you stand, what do you really believe, what are your principles in this moment, and only take action on those things, nothing else. Don't get caught up in let's see, this goal here. He's trying to reach this peak here. Now, the ego can project that about, you know, can project, well, you don't want to be the one who gets bested in this moment. So do whatever it takes to make sure that doesn't happen. No, that would be ego. So that means you're going to just start mouthing off at somebody, or you're going to say something that you can't take back. Whereas your higher self would say, look at that mountain peak and the peace and the clarity. That's your goal. How do you want to feel at the end of this? Do you want to be the person that is standing up for what's right, or you just want to be someone who just, mouths off and just intimidates everybody? Because we have that choice to either be the aggressor and intimidate others by using our mouth and dressing people down or laying them out, right? Whatever the expressions are. Or we can be the person who brings purpose and meaning to the moment. So the Knight of Swords, or the action of swords here, is about really thinking about your actions and what your truth is. What is it that you're after? What is it that you're really trying to achieve here? But don't be so quick that you don't make the right decision for yourself before rushing into it. But at the same time, be decisive and take action. But make sure it's the right action for you. Respect your time, right? Listen to your heart. All right, and the this card is a strength card, and so the whole face is hard. Okay, maybe you can see it now. Is that of a bear and someone rubbing the hands of the bear, and it's that compassion, looking into the eyes of someone that you know not a lot about, but somehow you can feel this connection of trust between them. And this the lemnisket on her hands sort of just indicates to us this as above as below, this infinite connection that all of us have. We all live on the planet in harmony. We were created in this harmony. And it's about respecting each other's boundaries. It's about respecting everyone for who they are. So it's about really being seen. And perhaps when we are in conflicts, it's because we're not seeing the other person. And when we don't feel seen, then we feel that we have to defend and protect ourselves. And so we start to do things that don't make sense. We start to react to the triggers and set off a whole dynamic that's truly and really unhealthy. So I don't know if you can see here. Just want to make sure because I'm looking at this from a distance. I'm just gonna see that there's a shadow of the knights. You can see them on their horses, and and there's a sort of mountaintop. There's clouds here, and so he's sort of in this. There's a lot of clouds surrounding this mountain peak, and it also looks like you're looking through somebody's eye, and everything is foggy around it except that one thing. So it almost feels like tunnel vision here. So just be aware of tunnel vision in this week. Get it in the way. Don't have tunnel vision. Try to broaden your perspective. See as much of the view of what's going on as possible. Even that means move your head around and turn around and look around just to and really tune in. It's also important for us not to shut down our hearts, but to open them up. We as light workers, empaths, tend to try to shut down the information because it's just a lot. But it's time that we stop acting scared of this. Let's just get over it, and trust that it's in being open that you will move past the fears and the intensity, and you'll experience this unconditional love that just envelops you in the warmest, most peaceful um, frequency. And then you will telepathically be receiving um, what you need to understand, meaning that you'll see people and you'll feel seen because you can only be seen as much as you're willing to be seen, and you can only be seen by how much your heart is open. So if you really truly want people to see you and you want them to feel seen by you, your heart has to be fully open, and this is where peace begins. So stop feeling foolish when somebody does something that in the moment they're just being triggered by something. They could just be afraid and uncomfortable and they say something foolish that triggers you, and then then the conflict starts, because you're feeling the same thing. But nobody is seeing each other because everybody's busy trying to protect each other, themselves rather. And I think that's what I'm really getting out of this. And it's two cards so far. Okay, and the script here is a little hard, but it's the Three of Cups. We can see the idea here in the card. So this is about this friendship. You know, three people sitting down, having a cup of coffee, gathering around um, some of our culturally accepted traditions. We gather around food, right? We gather around a table, we talk, we relax. Food nourishes our bodies. And so, in doing so, it also, when our bodies is being respected and we're getting what we need, we're less defensive and our hearts open because we're doing for ourselves what our body needs, and what we put in our stomach also plays a role in affecting the chemistry in our brains. That's why I always think it's so interesting. The brain tissue and the digestive tissue look they look the same, right? the brain and there's a connection there that it's important for us our to feed our bodies, but also to feed our minds, because this whole thing of perception is affected by that. If you're not getting enough exercise, if you don't have enough companionship, if you're not eating healthily, and so many different things. If you're not working, exercising your talents, and work that nurtures you and supports you and uplifts others, then all of these things, without them, we are prone to our egos scrutiny and misrepresentation and misinterpretations and misunderstandings and awful projections. So try to get to know the people that you are experiencing conflict with. So the card I've already pulled from the bottom of the deck is the Five of Wands. And we see have a little wolf pack here. And so there's this energy of feeling threatened easily. Feeling threatened easily and um, you know, I feel like again it's interesting to have the wolves here because they get the bad rep. I mean, they operate in packs, so they have this really sense of duty to family, and they protect each other. Um, and at the same time, we see them in the moon card, so there's this association with intuition and sensitivity. Yet all we see is in most animals that appear ferocious, or we've seen their actions, one facet of their actions, and we assume they're monsters, just like we do with people. So we can create our own conflicts with our prejudices, right? So we have to be aware to put these things in check. To put these kind of things in check, to make sure that we're not acting on something that really isn't what's going on in this particular situation. And then there's the thing of going around the world and never feeling safe. As a result, feeling insecure, intimidated, and giving up on an opportunity for yourself. The Six of Wands that comes after it. This is a card that usually like competition, um, and but if you're intimidated and you keep feeding into your ego, then how do you ever come out the winner? How do you ever, reach your goals and fulfill your dreams of success? How does that ever happen if this relationship dynamic within you is just this conflict is exacerbated to the point where you can't control these impulses within you or your outlook on life? All right, so I feel like the card at the bottom is really just telling us to be aware of creating conflict in this week where it's not necessary, and to not have tunnel vision, not to just see things one way, and to make sure that what you're um, fighting about, or what you're willing to make sure that it is worth it. Make sure that it's based in truth, because we're not saying that we shouldn't call people out for the things that they do. And when the angels were showing me earlier about cruelty, and I know there's so much cruelty in the world right now, and especially the situation with Mr. Nichols and the police situation. And I mean, I'm not going to say a lot about it because I don't watch TV, but I caught things on the news when I was out this week, and when I was getting a colonoscopy, and I couldn't figure out what was going on the TV, but they brought it up, and I realized, okay, oh, something happened. I'm not sure all what happened in the situation, but the thing is that um, we have to be vigilant, and we also have to, at the same time, we have to try to keep opening our hearts. Even in these times, we have to keep our hearts open because we have a work to do. And whether your work is of peace or your work is of the peaceful warrior that helps to bring about justice, but whatever that is, we can't get to the bottom or heal the problems of our world until we see each other. Because there's a lot that people are hiding, and a lot of reasons that they're hiding is unknown to them, and some things are known. And some people have only learned to be an aggressor, and some people, um, and so there's just so many reasons. But our purpose collectively is to work towards, while moving through and navigating all of these things, the cruelty, the and there's just so much cruelty when you think to the planet, to groups of people, to women, um, just so much. But the thing is that we have to navigate through it still with our hearts open, first seeking the way to seek the truth and to seek justice is to seek to understand, to see people for who they really are, not just who they show you or only what they're able to show because that's all they've ever known or been taught. Because to heal to heal cruelty, we have to find the strength within our hearts to love unconditionally while seeking justice. All right. So I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and have a beautiful, beautiful week. God bless.